Hello everybody and welcome from the Atlas Mountains here in Morocco. Today we've got an Italian with us, a Ducati DesertX Rally. In a moment I'm gonna show you how it rides and what it can do, so stay tuned.
Just to call you mine.
Welcome everybody from Morocco with the new Ducati DesertX Rally. What a bike! What a bike! You'll see the details in a moment. In 2018, Ducati entered into the off-road segment and now it offers us a thoroughbred rally bike. Now let's talk about the engine. We have 937cc and 110 horsepower delivered at around 9,000 RPM. Then we have a good 90 Newton meters of torque at around 6,500 RPM. But on sand like this, I doubt I'm ever gonna need that much torque. We have 6 different riding modes: sport, touring, enduro, rally, wet, and custom. So there are a lot of settings you can play with that you can adjust for any riding preferences you would have if you decide to take your time with it and set it up. What I find really interesting is that all electronic aids except for the off-road ABS on the front tire are switched off in rally mode. Fully loaded with our options, the bike weighs between 240 and 250 kilos and I had a lot of fun. The bike is really potent. Without options and without petrol, it weighs 211 kilos. We have 2 brake discs at the front with a diameter of 320 millimeters. Brembo calipers, the best quality, and a front and rear suspension from Kayaba. On the outside, we have a Kashima coating, which some of you may know from mountain bikes. What I wasn't satisfied with was definitely the original setup. The original Ducati setup did not satisfy me, but also I'm a heavy guy. I weigh about 96 kilos and I'm 182 centimeters tall. So I started setting the preload and the compression and I felt great. 5 clicks in the preload of the fork and the shock in the rear and I felt perfect on this bike. The only thing I did was move the brake and clutch levers inwards and up a few centimeters. What I found very pleasant was the riding. Both standing and sitting, the handlebars were very well positioned, and I say this as someone who is half injured. A few months ago, I hurt my wrist, but today I had no problems at all. Then we have a very good steering damper from Öhlins. I can imagine the internal fights when choosing components between Kayaba fork and shock and Öhlins steering damper. As for the mirrors, whether you like them or not, the view is great, especially when I get up and want to have a quick look. So kudos for the standing riding position to Ducati, really good. You can see it on the footage. I have a full view in front of me and I can see absolutely everything. The view is perfect, no problems with visibility whatsoever. Then we have very high quality aluminum parts. Here's the support for the road book, for example. You can see that is very stable indeed. The visibility of the screen is also very good. You can set it to dark or light mode. And I'm told, because I haven't ridden all of the Ducatis they offer at the moment yet, that the use of the controls is very easy and similar on almost all Ducatis. So on this one, I felt really good. It was very easy and intuitive to use. If I want to change riding modes on the fly, I can just go into the settings here, select my mode, press it again, confirm, and I'm good to go. The screen will change with the riding modes. There's this screen for off-road, which is mainly for enduro and rally, and then there's the screen you get for road, sport, and wet. All the information I need can be seen when I'm in the middle of nowhere, which is awesome. It's really nice. I felt very comfortable using the dark mode, and the visibility was really, really great. Now let's move on to the ergonomics. The seat at the top is very narrow. On the bike I have a very good knee position. Here, I'll show you. Here I have a lot of freedom with my knees. The bike has a seat height of 910 millimeters. I think 20 more than the DesertX. And the fork has 250 millimeters of travel in the front and 240 millimeters of travel on the shock in the rear. So a big plus for off-road riding are the adjustable levers. I'm talking about the rear brake that can be moved to the off-road setting, which means that when I ride standing up, I also have less movement in my ankle, and I think they did a great job at Ducati. It's very nice that they use the yellow spring, isn't it? Almost makes it look like it's Öhlins, but it's actually Kayaba. The connecting rod is 2 millimeters thicker and the fork is 48 millimeters thick, which obviously makes it a bit heavier, but also more durable, stronger and more stable. As for the suspension travel, we're at 240 millimeters at the rear, and at first I wasn't very happy with the rebound and compression settings, but then I got to setting them up, and then I was very, very, very happy with this bike and the components. I have to say they're great. Under the seat there are 3 Allen keys that are very useful for changing the ergonomics on the fly if you don't bring your tools. Many components of the bike are made of plastic, which is great. Like in the hard enduros, I mean the 300 2-strokes, the 400 and 450 4-strokes. So a great job by Ducati. They really want to offer a great bike for usage in off-road. Also, we have these stickers that protect the paint on the tank, which is metal. But can you go off-roading with a Ducati DesertX Rally, which costs just under, I think, 21,500 euros in Germany? Now, I don't know. Trying it out, I have to say it looks great, but we haven't paid a single cent for it, so I can't really comment on that. Now let's move on to the exhaust. The exhaust is simply beautiful. Why? Because it's subtle and unexaggerated, as you can see in the detailed pictures. The position of the muffler is not annoying off-road and won't bother you. Another element that convinced me completely are the wheels. They're really nice with anodized elements. Good job, Ducati. On the other hand, I don't agree with the choice of tires. They fitted the Pirelli Scorpion Rallys, which in my opinion is not the best tire to choose. At 80 to 100 kilometers an hour on a straight line, you have no problems, but in corners you have to move a lot on the saddle to push the bike into the right direction. The riding has to be very active with this tire, so shifting the weight to the front if you want to ride it with a certain speed is absolutely necessary. In the end, everybody can mount the tires that they want and that meets their needs. I personally would not mount the Pirelli Scorpion Rally. In the online configurator, you can customize the bike as you want. You have a wide variety of choices. As is usual nowadays, you can even change the tires, so you don't have to go with the Pirelli Scorpion Rallys from the factory. Of course, also the ABS is fully adjustable. All modes like traction control, wheelie control, the quick shifter, everything is customizable. It's like having a giant buffet in front of you. Just be careful not to change too many settings, or at least be sure that you change it for the better. I find it great that forged carbon comes as standard with this guard. I mean the cylinder protection here. I can't wait to see where people take this bike seriously. Of course, you can choose different tires in the configurator. As I said, I'm not a big fan of Pirelli Scorpion Rally tires, but now I'm curious to know what you would think of this bike, if it is worth the money it costs. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh, before I forget, I really wanted to add something. Now, today it rained and we noticed a few things I wanted to add to this video. In particular, when I go into rally or enduro mode, I have the option of selecting how the power is delivered on the bike. Do I want a semi-aggressive or an aggressive power output or a softer one? Also, you can change the riding characteristics of the bike to dynamic or to soft. Again, so you have a lot of customization possibilities. The soft mode came in very handy today. When the road is slippery, it's cool to be able to accelerate and to go full throttle without the bike really delivering all the power. Oh, there's another thing I wanted to say about the suspension. Today we drove for a long time between 80 and 90 kilometers an hour, and at one point I hit a rock, but neither the rim nor the tire were damaged. Just a brief testimony to the excellent suspension if you set it up right. Also, with the extra 20 millimeters of seat height, even when the roads were pretty rocky, I had very good ground clearance. The bike handles really well. There is a screw on this bike that was making rattling noises, but the Ducati engineers have already taken note of it and will change it. The side stand is very long, so definitely super useful for those who take it to the desert or similar. For those who don't use it in these conditions, maybe you are gonna want to replace it to a more comfortable one. This concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and let me know in the comments what you think about this bike. Thank you and see you next time. Bye!